that overwhelming flavor. This has that overwhelming flavor. And again, this has 0 calories to it, but the overwhelming nature of this flavor kicking you kind of reminds you, kind of puts this placebo effect on your brain to be like, oh my God, there's a lot of sugar in here. And for some people that can be a little bit too much, a little bit too overbearing. Hello everybody, here we go again with another episode of What the Fizz, which is sparkling reviews for foos, here to bring you the best in flavored sparkling water. Not always flavored, we got the original sometimes, but here we go anyway. First up on the list today, we're going to have the new flavor that I have not reviewed yet. As far as I know, this is more recent for what it's been in stores here in Canada. Now they've got a bunch of like no-name brand flavors of this, and I know Walmart's got their own brand, but this sparkling ice. Not sure about its origins, but although I do find something really strange about this. You know, you get like 500 ml drinks, 503 mils. Those 3 extra milliliters, you know, they just make you a little pee-pee tingle. I don't know. Don't know why. Don't know why. No, cheaper manufacturing costs, something like that. Anyhow, we are going to be presenting 2 of these guys today. First one here on the list is the Kiwi FIZZ, known as the Kiwi Strawberry. And kiwi and strawberry, everyone knows that blends so perfectly well together, so let's see if they effed it up or not. Pink grapefruit on the list here as well. So just one versus the other, and you're going to see a few more of these coming up here shortly as well in the other videos. Kick this guy off with the green. We're going green, going green. If I was green, I would die. First taste. Ooh, that one's got a little bit of a good crackle on that, you know? Fizzing up to the top. Props, mad props. This glass today. You know, I know some of them I do the glass, some of them I don't, but I forget, you know, I'm a bit of a dumbass. At times. Which, you know, I always thought that would be cool to like kind of record the fizz sound, you know, put it in the back of the song, kind of have some sort of ambience to a song that I wrote. You know, be cool with that acoustic guitar. Wow, the smell is pretty awesome. Very distinct on these guys compared to like most of the other flavoring, especially the butter beverages. First taste up on this one. Wow. Pretty good, pretty good. A lot going on there, you know? Very much so in your face with this guy. Like, what I mean by that is like the overall flavor itself as compared to some of the other ones. There's a lower level of carbonation on this one. This is definitely mid to low range for carbonation. But what they've done here clearly is put more emphasis on the actual flavor and taste to make it a little bit more strong. That could also be a pro and a con, and the way that I see that is like for me, sometimes if I have something and it's like way too sugary, you can almost kind of tell when something's too sugary, you know what I mean? Like that overwhelming flavor. This has that overwhelming flavor. And again, this has 0 calories to it, but the overwhelming nature of this flavor kicking you kind of reminds you, kind of puts this placebo effect on your brain to be like, oh my God, there's a lot of sugar in here. And for some people that can be a little bit too much, a little bit too overbearing. But for me, I do tend to like having the differential, right? To go from something that does have that higher range of carbonation and just that fine blend versus, you know, of course, the over-the-top taste. The nice part though is you do get that extensive flavor, right? You're not going to be left disappointed. If you're someone who is typically loving your pop and your soda, for all you Americans, you know, someone who's typically into all of those sugary items, you know, and you are forced to go for something that is non-caloric, in that case, I would recommend the sparkling ice for you, because that would be a good transition piece for you to go into the other sparkling waters from there. Before we get all into that right there, I'm just going to point this out that these guys are usually about $1.79 regular price. Oh, but $1.79 regular price. If you're going to be getting it on sale, let's say at a No Frills or something like that, it'll be about $1. As far as I know, they don't have a pack of these guys. They just kind of just separate flavors. Just throw them on the card and you just give us a go, right? First taste. Yeah, we're gonna give the first taste of that one about an 8.5. The reason why I'm not going a little bit higher that rating again is because that overbearing nature of the flavor. Like it's a good thing in terms of, you know, you're not gonna be left wanting more. It's giving you everything that a strawberry kiwi kind of taste is going to give you. You know, it's kind of like that 5-cent candy kind of melting in your mouth type deal. But again, you get through like, say, like 2 or 3 of these guys, and you're gonna want to change it up. You're gonna almost want to go grab a Perrier or a San Pellegrino or something like that. Whereas what I find with the San Pellegrino and the Perrier, you can just run with it, the bubbly, etc. You just run with it all day long. I can have like 3 or 4 of those in a day. I have like 1 by the time I have the second one of this. It's like too much to the point where, yeah, that placebo effect kicks in, and it almost thinks like I'm like consuming too much sugar. That's like the overbearing flavor. Doesn't have that tingle. I'm someone who loves spice, so for someone who loves spice especially, you like to have that little bit of zingy nature, kind of balancing everything out. You know what I mean? But the good news with that is the aftertaste, I have to give that about an 8.8, simply because the aftertaste, it's more of a balance in the aftertaste where it's like not too in your face when it's coming down, right? Like it kind of brings you up and it's coming down. So it's like, even though it's a little bit too strong there, when it is coming down, it does flow nice and naturally, which I will give them bonus points for that for. Leading to the balance of both, the balance of it all. Again, it's just a little too punchy, but again, not taking away from the product and its genuine taste and flavor. Balance on this guy here, I'm just gonna say it's a little bit lower, gonna be an 8.2. They could have put a little bit higher carbonation, just kind of blend it all together, a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more sensationally. Smoothness factor, yeah, definitely has a smoothness, right? Like it depends on your idea of smoothness, whether it's more bitter and more zingy going burning down your throat, or if it's a little bit lighter. The smoothness factor is definitely there. Give that guy a solid 8.8. And then of course, that flavor, got to give them the points for the flavor because they went all in on the flavor versus the carbonation. And for that reason, you know, again, with me, I think it's sometimes a little bit too much if you're going to be splurging on sparkling water. I feel like that might be why these guys are sold separately rather than in a pack, you know what I mean? Like, they're just kind of testing the waters with this too. Then again, I did not do my research on sparkling ice. I just kind of picked these up and wanted to kind of give it a fresh look and fresh taste without anything hindering that. So flavor, we'll give it a 8.9. And leading to the overall value of this guy, we'll give it a 8.6. So we're sitting at 8.6. That's still a very good number, and of course the strawberry kiwi is always a safe bet, and in this case it's no slouch. Moving along, back to the sparkling ice, but we got the pink grapefruit. You know, probably the most universal flavor aside from lemon and lime is the pink grapefruit, or just grapefruit, whatever the difference is. Grapefruit is grapefruit, grapefruit. And so here we are, just checking this guy out here. We're gonna give that the first taste. Oh, not as much sploosh on this guy here. Awesome in the cup. All right, salud. Gonna give this to you for the first taste. Oh yeah, I totally, 100%, totally know what you mean by totally know what differential just clicked in my head to the pink grapefruit versus regular grapefruit, right? It's exactly, like literally if you were to take that fruit and just add a whole bunch of, I don't know, fake sugar to it, that's pretty much how it seems, like an amplified, right? Again, 0 calories on this, so not to worry about the caloric content, of course, but it does have that extra oomph to it. Wow, yeah, I must say that it does differentiate from the other grapefruits, you know, so it's good. Yeah, pink grapefruit, accurate representation. First taste. Now, I love this one because as much as I love and prefer strawberry kiwi in many different ways, this is not too over the top. Yes, mid to low carbonation on this one. Not too crazy with that. But I find that it's balanced out a little bit better, where it's not too in your face, too over the top and overbearing, as some of the other flavors might come to be. First taste in this, I'm going to give it an 8.9. The aftertaste, doesn't dip out much. To me, just kind of flows. You get the little bit of the rise and grind, kind of pushing right through. You know, like the train through the tunnel, you know. Yeah, so that bad boy there, just going to have to give that one an 8.9 as well. So we're just going to say 8.9, 8.9. I'm going to give the balance an 8.9 as well because, like I was saying initially, It's already balancing out quite favorably. Smoothness factor, yes. Okay, definitely I would say a little bit. It's just, and I'm not knocking the other flavors. It's just that smoothness on this guy seems to just rifle on right through, whew, like a bullet through the pipe, like a bullet through the, whew, like a bullet through the teeth. Just seems to cut it a little bit more. Smoothness, 8.9. 8.9. It's hard for me to stray from that number because it seems to be right up there. Brings us on to the flavor, you know. Again, the flavor, it's not too punchy. It's kind of got the right balance and the right amount of pizzazz. It's quite refreshing, actually. I clearly find that Sparkling Ice is doing a fantastic job with their flavors, by the way. Like, there's no slouch on it. I would rather something have more flavor than not enough flavor. You know, when it's bland and boring and just mundane and then you just don't want it. You know, you just don't want it. And in this case, it's just it's flourishing quite favorably. So I'm gonna have to give this guy a 9.2. 9.2 on flavor, bringing basically the overall value of this to a 9.0. 9.0 we're gonna call it on this guy. No complaints to be honest. And once again, you can pick these guys up at your local No Frills or store. $1 to $1.79, about in that range there. Single bottles, 503 milliliters. I don't know why, for whatever reason. And then it brings us to the last part of this video, called the Final Fusion, where I basically take my idiocy and I put it all in point of view on video for you guys to laugh at me or to indulge in how stupid I can be with having a little dab of this Tabascus Maximus hot sauce, the Tabasco. You know, just put a little bit of that Tabasco on the tongue, or in this case, in a little shot glass right here. Put the Tabasco in the shot glass, throw it back with the flavors, and let's just see what happens. So you know I'm not cheating, okay? Wow, no idiotic reaction today, I guess. She, you know, it's actually, I hate to say it, like, I think this is like the second time where I've had this, and it's actually, gotta say, it's like not terrible. It's not bad. Like, no, I'm not advocating to go out of your way to do this, you know, obviously, but I have to say it's pretty favorable. I think it has something to do with the mid to low carbonation on it, and with like the extra zing, obviously, on the hot sauce with the spice. Pretty much creates that fair balance almost by accident, because who the hell's gonna do this, right? But here we are anyway, right? So yeah, I apologize. I don't look like an idiot this time. Well, that's up to you to decide. I probably always look like an idiot on camera, and if not, I guess my ADHD just shows through. You guys can handle it. Some of you guys can't. My arm waving. I think I'd call it part Italian, part ADHD. That's just part of my chemical genes and makeup. Yeah, leaving you with that there. Not gonna drag this on too long. I just want to thank you guys for watching this, and I will see you guys soon in the upcoming videos. So with that being said, I hope you guys stay real, and I will definitely stay caveman.